Fantastic. Well, welcome. I am so pleased you are here. If you're coming and joining us live, then thank you so much for taking this time out in the busy evenings that we have, juggling around the rest of your life, and especially as we're in the summer holidays. And if you have taken the time to catch up on the recording, then absolutely thank you. It's wonderful to spend this next hour with you discussing the Certified Outdoor Mental Health Practitioner program because it's a program that we are so passionate about and so proud of to be able to deliver this high quality of training because I've seen the impact that it's had on the our past cohorts who come and have done this training and are integrating it into their outdoor work to be able to deliver these meaningful therapeutic programs. We're going to have a number of quotes from past participants in this course throughout tonight's slides, and you're going to see the impact for themselves. These are direct quotes from people giving us feedback from this course. So I know that you're going to be here. If you are already a forest school leader, you're already an outdoor professional, you're leading groups of people, young people out in the outdoors, and you've seen the power of those sessions already, but you want to have a more robust therapeutic approach. You know that there's therapeutic potential in the work you're doing, but you need that confidence to understand what are the mechanisms for affecting that change? How can I tailor that approach to the children? What's the sort of language I should be using? I know that I, and I know that these are questions that are going to be in your mind because you know the power of the work that you're already doing, but you need that efficacy, that evidence base, that reassurance and support to be able to do that effectively and not cause harm, because that is one of the cornerstones of working therapeutically, is to do no harm, be reflective as a practitioner. And I'm so pleased that you're taking this time and effort to invest in yourself because I know the impact it's going to have on the young people that you're working with. And as an organization, the Therapy Adventure, we think about that ripple and cascade effect. It's no good us working just with small groups of children when we can share that knowledge and have that much wider reaching impact. So my name is Caspian. I am trained as a speech and language therapist. I worked as a speech and language therapist for a really long time. Was a little bit sort of always had that feeling like there could be another way of delivering this therapeutic input. Wanted to take people outside because I felt that the power of that, and I'm sure that you've seen that too. Trained as a forest school leader, and that was kind of the start of my journey of taking my therapeutic work into the outdoors. Now, the next slide, we're going to look at the current prevalence of mental health difficulties in young people. I think it's important that we recognize these statistics because it's always a little bit sort of shocking to start here, but it really brings home the impactfulness and the importance of being able to provide therapeutic input to a wider range of people. We know that for many people, they aren't able to access the therapeutic support that they need for a number of reasons. Lack of provision, the fact that it doesn't suit them as a model. These can be real barriers to people receiving the timely therapeutic support that they need. However, if we skill up the people who are already having that contact with those young people, and that's yourselves joining us here right now, if you are empowered with a range of therapeutic tools and approaches, that is where we can start to see these impacts on these young people that, the statistics are there that 1 in 6 children aged 5 to 16 have mental health problems. In the last 3 years, that has risen. The 50% of children are having these is increased by 50%. And really, I think we are all human beings. We are all likely to experience periods of challenge throughout our lives. We're all going to have fluctuating mental wellness, just in the same way we have fluctuating health in other areas of our life. And there's no reason that it shouldn't be the same for our mental well-being. So everybody, every child, every individual can benefit from the strategies to support their well-being. We're all humans and we all need support. So why not learn those skills to be able to integrate that seamlessly into your already wonderful outdoor provisions? So the skills you're going to learn in this course have been accredited. That is going to give you a certified gives you a certificate to be able to deliver these outdoor mental health programs, and that will easily be integrated into your existing forest school practice, but it could be just as well integrated into other outdoor outdoor provisions. And really, this is what we need to recognize is this is an emerging field. This is a new movement of equipping outdoor professionals to have enhanced skill set, to have the right language and the understanding of different therapeutic approaches so that we can affect this change in the young people that we're encountering because of these high levels of mental health needs. Small adaptations in our approaches, our own reflective practice, the language that we use are all things that can have a massive impact on the young people that we're working with. So if I tell you a little bit about my regular week, you can kind of get a picture of how I am using my skill set as an outdoor mental health practitioner. As I said, speech and language therapy, communication is my background. Mental health is not. And I'm very lucky to have received lots of training from a very skilled team to have that approach and have that supportive approach around me to be able to take my work into supporting people's mental health. So that I am the evidence that shows that you don't need to have a mental health background. You don't need to have that therapeutic background to be able to learn these approaches and integrate it into the work that you're doing. So I, on a regular basis, provide alternative provision, and I do that in very small groups, one-to-one children with teenage boys primarily. Um, and they are all boys who have struggled. They struggle with their communication. They struggle with their social interaction. They just struggle with their self-esteem. They have lots of challenges accessing education, and as a byproduct of all of those difficulties, their ability to access traditional therapy is going to be significantly impacted as well. I also deliver a rock climbing therapeutic program for young people, autistic young people. Um, High number of those experienced a high level of social isolation, suicide attempts, very low self-esteem, very limited relationships with other people, lack of friendships developing, and we know how important that is for all teenagers. That is what is important to young people is relationships, and we're all social creatures. We all need relationships. And I've also been lucky to deliver a regular outdoor therapy clinic, often co-delivering that alongside clinical psychologists. And I've seen the power of these approaches because we're able to deliver meaningful, authentic experiences where people are meaningfully engaged in something that they are enjoying, they're enjoying the experience. Then when we are able to tailor our therapeutic approaches alongside the right activities, that's when we see the absolutely wonderful impacts on our therapeutic aims for those individuals. They start forming relationships, they start being able to express themselves better, they let down their guard, they become part of a community. And this can be so protective in terms of their robustness and ability to deal with the rest of the week. I've had so many people say, this is the highlight of our week. This is what gives us the strength to like manage other things. And if you have that, if you can have that impact on young people's lives, I am so grateful for that experience. It's given me much more meaning in terms of the work that I do and my enjoyment of my work that I do because I can see how impactful it is. So let's talk about the therapeutic support. So really, it's been a long journey to get to this point. Lots of trial and error, lots of investing in training. We've commissioned clinical psychologists to create training programs for us. And clinical psychologists, because of their high level of experience and skill, rightly so, attract a very high fee. It's expensive to commission clinical psychologists to create training for us. And it's been money well spent because it's allowed us to get to this stage where we've got a program that is ready to go. You can pick it up and you can deliver it. And that is, I mean, what a relief that is. Not rather than get second guessing yourself, oh, did I say the right thing to that child? Did I deliver that in the right way? Did I miss an opportunity? Should I be working on this? No, you don't have to do any of that problem solving because it's being done for you. And that, for me, I love calling myself an outdoor mental health practitioner. Having that language and that certification has transformed the way that I articulate what I do, the impact that I can provide when I'm explaining my role to head teachers, the staff that commission me, the local authority, NHS contracts that we've been involved in. I say this is my credentials. This is the program that the evidence-based program that I deliver that's been created by a team of clinical psychologists. How many psychologists is it, Georgina?
On this course, 3.
Three. So a team of three clinical psychologists have put together this course. All of them extremely experienced psychologists. All have had experience of working and integrating this into their outdoor practice as well. So it's the program I wish I had 10 years ago when I first tried taking our therapeutic work outside. And it's kind of what a wonderful thing to be able to offer to invested all that time in training and now get to the point where we can share that. And we've also made it look nice as well. We have a team of artists and graphic designers and researchers and other specialists who've been able to put it together as a package because you need to be able to feel confident when you pick up this thing that, oh, now it makes sense. Now I know how to deliver it, and I've got lovely visuals and graphics that I can share this training and have that impact. Because when we're talking about complex things about our internal narratives and our understanding of the world around us and our relationships with people, having some materials to help articulate that, it is very important. It is very powerful, and it does have a big impact. And it's very rewarding. I absolutely love my work. I'm so grateful that I get to do it. And I've not always felt like that about my career. So I'm very lucky that I'm in this position right now. So what will you receive as an outdoor mental health practitioner? Well, you're going to be taught by a team of clinical psychologists, therapists, and other mental health professionals about how to deliver this intervention. And you're going to pair those therapeutic interventions with the targeted outdoor activities. So you will learn how to correctly select an outdoor activity to meet your therapeutic aims. You're going to learn about common mental health presentations and models of mental health and how this can be used as a foundation to support young people's mental health needs. Because you need to understand what's involved in creating formulations to understand an individual's presentation. You're going to need to understand how to do a baseline assessment so that you can monitor change. You're going to need to understand how to gather information, who to communicate with, and how to set appropriate therapeutic targets, because no one ever has just one problem. We are complex people, complex beings, and selecting an appropriate thing to work on is actually how you're going to be able to make changes. So the program covers a wide range of techniques. You're going to learn about validating emotions, about cognitive reappraisals, challenging cognitive distortions, using nature as a metaphor, mindfulness practice, active listening, breathing strategies, grounding strategies. Do you know what I mean? Like, we could not have crammed more into this than if we had tried. You're going to come away feeling confident as a mental health practitioner, because all of these different information is going to form that foundation. It's going to inform your practice, and it's going to give you that solid foundation to build your approach on. So you're going to have access to toolkits, and these are toolkits that are designed to support with emotional regulation, support individuals' distress tolerance, and develop self-confidence. And we know how important anxiety and low mood are in young people, so we've developed toolkits specifically for that. And these are all things that are going to contribute to your forming meaningful therapeutic relationships, because you need to be able to draw on these various psychological models really to be able to understand Why are individuals presenting with the behavior that they are presenting with? Because behavior is a complex thing. It's always multifaceted. You need to be able to do your formulations to be able to interpret behavior accurately. If you make an incorrect formulation, then you may approach that behavior in an inappropriate way and not have the positive impact that you could be having. So we know that children's backgrounds can be very complex, and that's why it's so important to be empowered with a trauma-informed approach that underpins all of our interactions. You need to be able to understand attachment needs, because if you need, because we are so shaped by our early relationships, and that really is a lot of the work that we have to unpick. So what are some of these different psychological models that you're going to be that are going to inform your approach as a mental health practitioner? Well, you need to understand models such as acceptance and commitment therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, trauma focused cognitive therapy, and solution focused therapy. And you're going to have training on all of those different approaches. If they sound if they feel unknown to you right now, you're hearing these terminology and you're like, oh, I've never even heard of that before. Well, you're going to get trained in it, and that's going to give you an absolute some of these training I've received, and then I've applied it to my own life, and it's improved my own mental well-being. I know that I'm in a better place psychologically because I apply these strategies to myself, and as a consequence, more naturally apply them to my therapeutic provision when I'm out in the woods working with young people. We know that there are many barriers that people face to engaging in therapy. Um, Being able to create a safe space that's accessible for young people is vital if we want to help them develop the coping tools that they can then generalize to other parts of their life. If otherwise, you can't do that deep, meaningful work if you can't hold that individual within your session to be able to nurture them and support them to work through complex things. So, because our aim is to empower young people, we also have developed the Outdoor Wellbeing Award. And when people are right, that gives them the ability to recognize the strategies that they are integrating into their sessions. My sessions tend to have a typical format, and I will always deliver a strategy as part of my sessions. And sometimes you suddenly see it start clicking with young people, and they're like they want to take it on board. It suddenly becomes meaningful for them. Luckily, I've had some very long-term contracts with long-term relationships with some of the young people that I work with, and these things don't always happen quickly, but then suddenly you see this change, and being able to celebrate that with the award that young person can take ownership over their own mental health and well-being, that they can start to manage and regulate their own behavior, drawing on the strategies that you are training them in. Wow, that is so impactful, and I'm so grateful that I've had those experiences with the young people that I work with. So becoming a certified outdoor mental health practitioner is an accredited program. It's going to demonstrate to the schools that you're working with, the funders, the clients, your workplace, the parents, that you committed to that continuing professional development. Like I've said, I've already started adapting the language that I use to articulate what I do, and and this is how we're going to be able to attract um, more impactful, meaningful, and better paid potentially work. So all of our courses are delivered by a multidisciplinary therapy team, a team of specialists. You're going to have all these different strategic approaches, and that's going to really empower you to have a really big impact on your career, the way you work and the sessions that you deliver. So here we've got some opportunities working as an outdoor mental health practitioner. These are all things that we've done, so we know that these opportunities exist, and there's no reason you wouldn't be able to access these as well. And that's not to say that this is an exhaustive list, because once you've got these skills and you have that confidence, that you all sorts of doors open up. Because I think, when you're first offered or first come into contact with taking on more challenging work. Maybe you're going to be working one-to-one with an individual, working with individuals with quite complex behavior, working with children who've been excluded from schools, haven't been able to manage in educational settings, have complex mental health needs. When that work comes your way, there's a bit of a jump that you need to take, because you are going to have those questions in your mind. Can I manage? Is this too much? Is it going to be too challenging? Do I have the skill set? And and I've gone through that. I know that from personal experience, knowing can I work with this individual? Is it going to be too tricky? And all I've found so far is just it's been fantastic. It's just been wonderful, and I've just had really positive experiences. So I'm really hoping to be able to guide you and mentor you and support you as our team, because we're going to have a whole team of specialists for you to draw upon that's going to give you the confidence to do the same. So who have we worked with? Social prescribing opportunities. Do you want to go through these, Georgina? I've done lots of talking.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got social prescribing opportunities, so being funded by healthcare, usually the NHS outsource, but providing paid for sessions that GPs, mental health services inside the NHS can refer to. You can become commissioned by the NHS or CAMS. We've done quite a bit of that work where a young person might need to have some alternative support than what's offered traditionally. And that's been a really lovely opportunity at work there that's been funded directly by the NHS or CAMS, delivering one-to-one or small group sessions for children with mental health needs in a specialist provision. This could look like a lot of different things. It's a real area of demand right now, whether that's in a school setting where you're running kind of nurture groups or outdoor therapeutic sessions with small groups or one-to-one, so that you're able to kind of really support those young people outside of their traditional environment. And then alternative education. We have worked in alternative education now. This is often when a young person might be having some failed placements, when they're not having their needs met in other settings, and where the local authority is working to find the right placement for this young person. And that might be a multitude of different avenues. And you can, for example, apply to join your local authority's tender list. Sometimes they come to us. That's how they started. So they can come to you as well once they know about what work you're doing. But also through parents as well, researching opportunities for their children that are going to be paid for through maybe a personal budget or in an EOTAS package. Home education programs. We run a lovely home education group that you can offer. There's various reasons why young people are home educated, and you can provide that nice specialist support there. And corporate wellbeing programs as well. The tools learned in this course often are taught to you as if you're working with young people. But what we've learned from those that have studied with us and our work as well is you can actually apply these to working with adults as well. And so many of the things that you're going to learn actually can be applied to adults. And so running something like a corporate wellbeing day or a corporate wellbeing session is a lovely way to work with adults and just provide that therapeutic input. So it's definitely there, isn't it, Caspian?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that impact on the teaching staff who've joined in the sessions, and being able to deliver that within the schools that we deliver these sessions in. So I can imagine how everything we've gone through now feels like a lot of information.
Yeah.
And what this diagram here is going to succinctly explain our model of approach. And where we need to start off with is this foundational level of knowledge. So the training begins, you're going to receive that robust, evidence-based, theoretical frameworks delivered by clinical psychologists that are going to help you understand the underpinning mental health needs that individuals have. So this framework works not just in the training course, but you're going to apply this to the work that you're doing, because applying those foundational knowledge, it helps you then move on to setting the appropriate therapeutic goals. There are different aspects of that. You're going to be working closely with other professionals. You're going to be building that therapeutic relationship with that individual so that you can choose the appropriate goal for them and do that collaboratively. Now, once you have highlighted the way to have the best impact on that individual, you're going to be drawing from that range of different therapeutic approaches that we've discussed, whether that's narrative approaches, CBT, DBT, ACT, mindfulness, solution-focused approaches. I do lots of mindfulness in terms of grounding strategies and nature connection, all these wonderful ways of practically embedding these therapeutic strategies, approaches into my sessions. And that is where the power of our approach as outdoor professionals really comes to the forefront, because we are so fortunate to be able to work in this wonderful environment of being outside, and it opens up so many opportunities that wouldn't even exist for other therapeutic disciplines. And we can really embed these approaches into our existing practice as outdoor therapists, outdoor professionals. We can select appropriate, meaningful, authentic experiences and embed our strategies into those. That's where we're going to be having that power to make that real effect on the individual, choosing strategies like shoulder to shoulder approaches and stimulus for growth, because that's how we're going to make that really powerful connection with that individual and guide them through their development. We need to be able to evaluate the impact of the work that we're doing, and that's where we reflect on the outcomes of our intervention. And that feeds back into this cyclic approach of then evaluating our initial goals. Now, like we said, we are on the crest of a wave. This is the working therapeutically outdoors is still an emerging field. The recognition of the impact of working therapeutically outdoors has only skyrocketed since COVID, and the importance of that is continuing to grow, but you're still in this very much burgeoning where you're going to need this ongoing support. We have very recently how important that you will continue to need support from us. So we are offering now, as part of the course fee, access to a basic level of clinical supervision. So that's the capacity after you qualify, after you certify as an outdoor mental health practitioner, to be able to continue to come back to us to receive clinical supervision. And that is a wonderful opportunity to be able to actually discuss the cases that you are working with and hear from your peers. We also know that as it's an emerging field, that there are other ways of working that are constantly tweaking and thinking about how we can integrate it into different practices and different environments, and how to market ourselves, how to share what we're doing, what language to use, how to price ourselves. These are daunting questions to answer on your own if you haven't got that team around you. So that's where we offer that additional support. Once you've gone through the course, you get access to further training as a post-certification support, where we can give you that business support to be able to really make the most of the training, because it's all well and good to have this training, but how do you actually have the impact and integrate it into the work that you're doing? Did I summarize that succinctly, Georgina?
Yes, definitely. I think from all the stuff you've heard from Caspian, being able to view it kind of visually is really helpful to see what you're going to go through when you take on the course, and then what comes after, and like this cyclical approach, but also that ongoing supervision and that support with the business side of things, because we've all got strengths, and so sometimes it's important to get that support as well. I'm gonna continue with the conversation and carry on telling you more about what's involved in each individual module. For those of you that haven't met me yet, kind of if you've interacted with us, you'll definitely heard from me. I'm Georgina and I'm a course coordinator. So my kind of role is supporting you onto the course, through the course, and off the course at the end, and then that ongoing support. So I'm here basically as your support whenever you study with us. So module 1, as Caspian said about that therapeutic foundations at the top is all about understanding mental health in young people. It's about that foundational understanding, essential for delivering these outdoor mental health interventions. So we're going to look at things like the common presentations of mental health, different models of mental health for outdoor interventions, thinking about things like stigma and breaking stigma in outdoor settings, supporting looked after children, neurodiversity and mental health, trauma-informed practice, and attachment theory and attachment style. So really having that underlying knowledge. This is taught heavily by clinical psychologists, this module, so that you get all of that understanding to get you started. Then we dive into module 2, which is all about delivering outdoor mental health interventions. So this is split into 2 parts, with part 1 focusing on key concepts in outdoor therapy. That's thinking about those therapeutic approaches, that side of the visual. And then the second bit is looking at formulations and setting therapeutic targets. So this is delivered by clinical psychologists and outdoor therapists. And some of the topics that we're going to cover are things like breaking down barriers to therapeutic support for marginalized groups. Caspian said, describing some of the young people he works with, that traditional therapy is might be difficult experience for them to access. So how we can break down those barriers. Our approach to mental health interventions, things like when and why to use case formulation and using baseline measures, and then setting those goals. So how to identify them, what are they, what are we working on? Then we get into the two-sided approach there. So we've got our therapeutic tools and approaches module. So this is where you're going to learn how to pair those therapeutic approaches with outdoor activities to achieve these specific therapeutic outcomes. You're going to be taught specific techniques. Caspian's mentioned them all, but things like validating emotions, cognitive reappraisal, challenging cognitive distortion, using nature as metaphor, mindfulness practices, active listening, modeling positive self-talk, incremental goals, breathing strategies, grounding techniques, and more. You can hear how much there is in this bit. You're also going to be guided on how to match these approaches with suitable outdoor activities. So if you're a forest school leader, you've already got activities that you can deliver in the outdoors, but how are you pairing them? What are you selecting? So we cover a couple of areas. We're going to talk about nature art, bushcraft, wild cooking, storytelling, and nature connection activities. So there's lots in there, building on probably those activities that you already know and adding some new ones as well. And you're going to have access to the following outdoor toolkits. These are delivered by clinical psychologists. So we're going to look at developing emotional regulation, building distress tolerance, and then supporting young people who are experiencing anxiety, low mood, and developing self-confidence. So much value in that module there. Really building on these tools and approaches and these toolkits. So getting all of that knowledge. And then we move on to module. Oh, there you go. There are outdoor toolkits right there. So you can see them. And then we're going to work on building a therapeutic relationship. So this is all about managing behaviour, learning to create a safe and supportive environment for young people in the outdoors. So creating a safe space using structure and routines, meeting sensory needs, using the STAR model to understand and respond to behaviour, thinking about the crisis cycle and de-escalation, and then noticing early signs of mental health deterioration and understanding them, as well as safeguarding and signposting to further support. So it's a real kind of coverage there. And we have our guest speakers as well. So our guest speakers, we've got Dr. Ali Downs, clinical psychologist, talking about active listening. We've got Zoe Boston, art therapist, talking about nature art therapy and outdoor interventions. And Abby Southall, who's a systemic family practitioner. She's a forest school leader. She's worked with young people in pupil referral units, now training as a family therapist, but really working with families and young people. And this will be about narrative therapy. So we're adding to those therapeutic techniques and tools that you're learning about there as well. And this, I think, sums up Caspian, and this is from one of our outdoor mental health practitioners who finished the course earlier this year, how this course has fundamentally changed the way she works with young people in the outdoors after having worked with young people for over 15 years. So and really specializing in this one-to-one. I think one of the other quotes she says is, "This work gives me butterflies every time I come and do this work and work with young people in this way." So, how does the course work? Well, all the videos and content that you need to complete the course are available on our online platform. You can work through them at your own pace, and you'll receive an email each time each module is opened. Now, we release each module every 2 weeks. So you get a welcome week and then module 1, 2, 3, and 4 every 2 weeks. And that's to stagger them for you so that you can work through them at a pace. You're not overwhelmed with resources in the beginning. And then there's a module timetable, which has got those live guest speaker sessions. So you can save those in your diary as well. Each module after the videos, there are some activities for you to complete, and they're there to consolidate your learning. And we deliver the course over 8 weeks, but you can do it over a longer period if you want to. So some people access the course between maybe 8 weeks and 6 months, depending on their own schedule. You've got 2 years to access the course. So there's plenty of time to access it. And when you've completed the course, the resources are all still there. So you can go back and refresh and revisit and cover that knowledge again and again. So when it comes to the learning, you are allocated a course coordinator. That's me, who's going to support you along the way. We have a Facebook group, which means that you can connect with your fellow students and really connect through the experience that you're going through, share insights, share ideas. It's also handy for getting those notifications and a space where you can share. Those are the activities that I'm talking about, and they're really practical activities, thinking about how you'll apply what you've been working on to the course, to the work you're doing. You will be taught by clinical psychologists, and it covers all of the stuff that we've already talked about. So while you're studying, you'll be a trainee certified outdoor mental health practitioner. Once you have completed the course, you'll be a certified outdoor mental health practitioner. And this is all part of the marketing and the ongoing post-certification support as well, because these badges help you demonstrate your knowledge and your expertise and the training that you're getting with your potential clients, sharing that knowledge with those that you are working with. And then we will also share with you our sample programs, and Caspian mentioned the Outdoor Wellbeing Award. What this means is you've got a structure, some strategies, some training on how you're actually going to implement this. So you've got all that background knowledge, that understanding, but you've got practical tools as well. And then you've got the Outdoor Wellbeing Award, which is something you can deliver with young people, where they can collect mental health and wellbeing strategies, and they learn them over time, and you can celebrate their learning as they work through those strategies and those tools and really develop them. So post-certification support, Casper mentioned it earlier, but this is a whole section at the end after the end of the course. So who are you selling to? How are you pricing? How to market sessions, example brochures, documents we've created, how to word exactly it is what you're doing, and creating partnerships so that you can work in this way. For example, say you want to work with somebody and they might need occupational therapy support, how you can partner with somebody inside our ongoing clinical supervision support to provide you with that knowledge, that insight. And when you have got these multiple therapists or multiple disciplines feeding into the work you do, you're able to charge more for it as well, and that has a big impact too. So here's a quote here. I feel like I've had a renewed sense of knowledge and expertise to equip me with running a nurturing, empowering, and much needed outdoor program. The lessons were really in depth and such a varied amount of content. Good mix of practical tasks among the videos. So hopefully you can see from our current and our previous students who are all doing this work now what impact it's had for them. So what support do you receive? You get the course, you get the optional Facebook group. We will have study sessions led by course mentors. We have co-study sessions. Now, these have been really popular. It's a window of time on an evening where our Zoom room is open. You can drop in, meet with other students, work through course content with a bit of accountability if that works for you. And you get access to our course mentors, our multidisciplinary team, ongoing support. So that this means that you are fully supported through the course as you work through it. You might want to prefer to work independently, others prefer to work together. However that works for you, we can make that work. And then your accreditation. So once you've completed this course, you will be a certified outdoor mental health practitioner. The course has been accredited by the CPD Standards Office, and accreditation might sound daunting, but we make it as easy a process as possible. So there's a short online exam and assignment to complete. And the reason why we have those is so that we can, and we know you've understood all of the content, and you're going to be able to apply it. And it's important we know that before we support you further once you've completed. So the assignment is a certain number of words long. It's open book. The exam is 10 questions long, also open book, all based on the content of the course. You can go back and revisit the content, refresh your knowledge. We can provide alternative assessment approaches for those who are going to struggle with a written assignment. I've been doing one this week. For instance, we understand that not everybody is suited to an exam style or a written style assessment, and that is absolutely fine. There are other options such as videoing your responses or voice noting them to us, having a phone call with a member of the team to discuss your knowledge and showing us that way as well. So we can support you to do that. We have really tailored the course to fit around your day-to-day commitments, whether that's the day job, looking after your children. All the modules can be completed entirely self-paced and everything is recorded. So if you set aside 2 to 4 hours per week to complete the certification, you should finish it in around 8 to 10 weeks. If you want to take longer to do that, then that's absolutely fine. It's very flexible to build in. So what do you receive? Well, you get everything we've talked about for the last however long. You get to become a certified outdoor mental health practitioner. You have all of that knowledge that you'll get throughout the course and the practical approaches. You'll be able to use that title and display that badge on your materials. You will have access to those self-paced online modules, access to the toolkits and the guest speakers, the workbook activities, so that you're able to consolidate that knowledge. You get that sample program manual, so you've got those practical skills to practice. You've got that Facebook group and all the support, as well as the post certification. And oh, there's a quote there. I'll pop back to this one in a minute, but also the outdoor therapy clinical supervision group. So this has 2 tiers. All students will be able to access the foundation member, and that is so that you get that ongoing support. And then there's the option to pay to access further support if that's in a one-to-one setting or with a variety of different therapists, so that you can really build on that. And it means you can share collaborations and opportunities. You can appear on our community map on our website, and you get this badge and your membership card, so that you have got that input, that ongoing input, because we know how important that is, don't we, Caspian, when you're kind of applying for work or creating a proposal or discussing the work that you do. If you can exemplify that you are getting that ongoing support, how important that is.
It's also a lot of the time we're working on our own and we might be working with tricky individuals. So being able to come together with a peer group and be able to openly discuss that and get advice and guidance and just talk things through is so reassuring and supportive. And it's such an open-minded, supportive community that has developed in that clinical supervision group now, with the regular members attending.
Yeah, definitely. And you get sometimes insights from each other as well as that support
Absolutely.
from our team as well. And so, yeah, this quote, I think, sums up another of our students and how they feel about the training with us. So how much does it cost? That's a big question. The course costs £465 for the online course. You can pay by 12 monthly payments of £39. Some of our people actually, even this week, I've had queries, people that started on that 12-month payment and then paid it off early when they're available. We are very flexible in supporting however it is that you need to. to access that. If you are going to be paying for it through your business, for example, or you're going to be able to claim the costs from your employer, for example, we can do invoices for you and provide receipts and all of that kind of thing so that you're able to do that. So we do have an invoice request form, or you can pay via our link and pay for the course. It starts on the 16th of September. It's an important question. So when does it start? The 16th of September, just after those school holidays, and we've all settled back into kind of our normal routines. We've got that welcome week on the 16th of September, getting you ready, familiar with our online platform, getting you ready to start that course on the following Monday, and that's when module 1 opens. And then the live sessions are spread then throughout September, October, November, December. So you've got access to those as well. So really, really there. There we go. And then I think I've given you all the information I've got. Caspian, have you got anything to add? I mean, we can open up the floor to questions.
Yeah, we can. If you have any questions, then please let us know. I mean, one of the things that we're so passionate as a team is being able to give individual tailored support. So we will be there for you to get the most out of the course, because we know how impactful it can be. So we want you to come away feeling confident and skilled, and we'll do what we'll give you the support that you need to be able to do that. I do a weekly Facebook Live where I chat through what you'll be doing each week. And then if you have any questions, I can always answer those on a regular basis. But you can just keep in contact with us as a team, and we'll work out how best to support you through the course so that you have a good learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask any questions now, feel free to put that in the chat. I think one of the other things that came to my mind, Georgina, was some of the feedback we've had from people who've done the course, and then that's empowered them to do completely different work now. They,
Yes.
yeah, they've taken on contracts they wouldn't have even considered before, or they've now doing social prescribing, and they would never even thought of doing that. And how they've put their prices up, and they've accessed more complex work, or more a wider variety of work. And I think having that having that multiple different options is very supportive as if you're working for yourself. It's very protective.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Michelle only this last week, I think it was. Michelle did the course with us. She's a forest school leader, working and doing before and after school clubs for forest school, a little bit of in the day as well, sometimes at the weekend, but really focusing on that preschool, after school and before school clubs, and then started working following the course, doing some one-to-one groups and really having an impact on those one-to-one, or it's actually 2-to-1 sessions, siblings, and they're grown up, and really nurturing that outdoor connection, that outdoor experience, working towards those goals. Reducing anxiety is what she's been working on with those young people, and it's just inspired her to know that this is the work that she really wants to do, and then going on into different avenues. So getting in touch with a local adult program and offering to work with them, continuing the one-to-one support, running some sessions in a community garden as well. So really, like you said, expanding those areas, and finding a passion. And like you said, others, you can tell we're a small team because we know a lot of our students and what they get up to. I think I know all of our students, and we talk to them about what they're doing, what they're getting up to, what they're finding difficult, what they're enjoying, and I think it's really impactful, the work that they're doing, just like you've said, Caspian.
I can't see any questions. Perhaps we gave everyone lots of information.
Yes. Yeah, I can't see any questions either. I'm just checking the chat box there to see if there's anything.
Nope.
I'm going to stop
Okay.
sharing.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us throughout this webinar. I hope you did find it useful. Go and have a think about it, and work out how it's going to fit into your life. And there's always that sort of fear of the unknown when you start something new. But
Yes. Shall I post
hopefully
the
the
sign
link,
up in the
yeah,
chat?
there's a
So you've
sign
got
up link in the chat. And I think, there's always that fear of the unknown when you start something like this. But hopefully you're going to have a wonderful experience with us, and it's going to just make you enjoy your work even more. And when do you need to sign up by?
Yes, so we've got enrollment is open right now. We are asking for people who are joining us to reserve a place if they are planning to join us. That's just because we want to make sure everybody who wants to access the course can. We usually don't close sign up until the course starts. However, if we do reach a maximum capacity of students, then we will close capacity. And that is because we want to make sure that there's enough of our team to be able to support everybody. So if you are wanting to join us, but you're waiting either for a payday, for example, or for somebody to fund your course, we've got a couple of people reserved waiting for schools to get back to them on funding as well. If that's you, please let us know. We can reserve a place for you, hold it, and then if anything changes in terms of that, we can get in touch and let you know. So that holds that place for you. So please do get in touch with us. I'll pop my email address in the chat box as well as the sign up link. So you can email me or Louise and we can save a place for you, because it's important that if you do want that place, that is there for you. Yeah. Any other questions we can help with? Or shall I stop the recording, Caspian? Then we can hang around for 5 minutes if there's any other
Can you share
questions.
the webinar? Yeah, by all means.
Please do. I'm going to be emailing out the link to everybody who attended tonight, so you'll be able to share that link with everybody. And also upload the recording so that anyone who's missed it can catch up with us as well. I know it's busy summer holidays and evening time, so it's not always the most opportune time to watch something like this. So if you're
Yeah,
joining the recording, thank you. And thank you for joining us
yeah.
tonight.
I'm looking forward to seeing you all in September, hopefully. It'd be lovely to work together then.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording.